Hey guys, this video is brought to you by the brilliant OneFootball app. There is so much football action all around the world happening simultaneously, and it is difficult to keep a track of everything. OneFootball app makes that really easy for you. The newest feature of the OneFootball app is global users apart from Indian subcontinent can stream the Indian Super League ISL for absolutely free on the OneFootball app. The World Cup season is also upon us, so any information related to your favorite team, anything that you need to know about your favorite players, OneFootball app has you covered. So please go ahead and download the OneFootball app for absolutely free, either from the link given in the description below or from the QR code being flashed on the screen right now. Hey guys, welcome back again with the Miss and Baba podcast. Not a very happy time because last time when we went, those were happy times because we had just beaten AC Milan. We were looking very good under Potter. But like we had discussed, we were wary of the things that were about to come. We were very well aware that it might be a new manager bounce thing. It is not necessarily a new manager bounce that we saw with Chelsea. There are quite a bit of positives that we can talk about also, but there are some alarming things as well. First of all, the injuries that we are facing left, right, and center. Ben Chilwell is out. He was really good against Dinamo Zagreb in that game. I really liked his performance before he got injured. Then injuries to Reece James, Fofana, Koulibaly came on just in the last match, and you know that Chelsea are kind of struggling right now, and what we can expect from the next two games, because the next two games that we play are against Arsenal and Newcastle. Both the teams are ahead of us in the points table, so we cannot afford to lose points in those games if we are to stake any claim in the top four race and be in kind of a comfortable position in touching distance till the World Cup gets over, and then we can go back at it after the World Cup is done. So today we'll talk about how Potter's stint has been so far, and what things he has done right so far, and what we think are the things that are letting us down as a team on the field. So, Miss, first of all, welcome back again. It's always good to have you, bro.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
what are your thoughts? And like the last three games in the league have been absolutely, they have been huge setbacks. They have been body blows. Like the draw against Brentford, it was okay. It was a one-off draw. Then a draw against United, which we could have won, although we were not the I won't say we were the better team for the 90 minutes, but yeah, coming so close to a win and then conceding in the 93rd minute in the stoppage time, it really hurts. Then that abysmal result against Brighton. Although I feel going forward we were very good, and
Yeah.
if we had taken our chances, even with two goals down, if we had taken our chances, I think the game state would have changed. We might have lost the game eventually, but I don't think the score line is still. I think the score line is still a bit inflated. I think it is flattering to see 4-1 is too much because two own goals and whatnot. Kepa is also injured. I talked about injuries. Kepa is also injured. Mendy will play the rest of the games because Kepa is in crutches apparently. So, how do you see all of this? The initial phase of Graham Potter, and like what are the things that concern you the most going into this Arsenal game on Sunday?
Man, it's a mixed feeling. I was having this conversation on my channel, doing some live streams and just having conversation with Chelsea fans, and I was saying I'm at a mental state where I'm unsure, Baba. Like I don't know how I feel anymore. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what I should expect. I like the way Graham Potter started. He went through some really good wins, some very great wins against AC Milan, and good win against Wolves. When we didn't play good against Aston Villa, we won. But obviously, all of these sort of downward spiral that we're seeing now also coincides with Reece James being injured. As soon as Reece James got injured, it felt like some part of a wing got snapped out. Like, if you're a bird, you got wings, one of your wings just got snapped, and now you're struggling because you need both the wings to fly. You can't fly. And look, I understand that without Reece James, it is tough, much like it was tough last season as well. And I go back to the situation, why haven't we addressed this last summer? Everyone was talking about it. Every single human being was saying we should address that right-sided issue with Reece James, because Reece James, whether we like it or not, he is injury prone. Every single season since his debut for Chelsea Football Club has been injured, and has been injured for a while as well. So we needed to get a backup. But look, nonetheless, even after Reece James has been injured, I don't know, there's been certain things that Graham Potter has done. Like, he's done in the beginning some really, really good things. But now, since Reece James's injury, some of the lineups has been a bit strange. He tried that Pulisic, Sterling as wing backs against Salzburg, more like wingers. You're just playing with three centre backs. He tried that against Brighton, which is actually a Brighton style of football. He tried to do what he did at Brighton with Chelsea, and Brighton absolutely outclassed us. And maybe that wasn't the way to go. Against Man United, Man United were all over us, to be honest. I know we went ahead, but let's be honest, Man United were the better team all up in that game and deserved that point. Brentford as well. Brentford had the better chances to win the game against us. So, look, I understand the adversities. I get it. Lots of injuries, this, that, the other. But Graham Potter has to... This is why he's been brought in, right, Baba? This is why you've been brought in. This is why you're on big money. Graham Potter's on something around 12 million a year, which is a lot of... that's a lot of money, man. And as much as we want to be patient, and yes, we are patient, there is no discussions about Graham Potter out. He is staying. He is staying for the long run. But it is important to maintain certain standards. And I think in recent times, the standards, yes, we have disadvantage on the right side. Yes, we have disadvantage maybe on the left side with Kukura being out of form. Yes, we have disadvantage in midfield. But you have to find a way to collectively get them to be a lot more solid and not be so vulnerable. So now, Baba, moving into this Arsenal game, I'm nervous. I am really nervous because this Arsenal team is on top of the Premier League table. And this Arsenal team is, 11 points or 12 points, something ridiculous. The gap between us and them is quite a lot. They are in a situation, Baba, where they believe in their manager. They have this feel-good feeling. They're galvanized. Everyone is playing for each other. They have a system that is very much, it's rolling at the moment. It's fine-tuned. It's well-oiled machine at the moment. And us, we have issues, and I'm worried, man. I'm worried. I really am.
Actually, if I have to say something in defense of Graham Potter, because see, I am one of those fans who will not turn on the manager unless something
Same.
goes horribly wrong. So, because I see nowadays fans become very reactionary, one or two bad results, and it's manager's fault. It's this, it's that. See, you have to look at the context also. The kind of situations and the kind of environment that there was when Tuchel had left, and apparently Tuchel was in India for quite some time. I think he's still there. He got his treatment for the back done in Kerala, so all of those things. So a report came that he is still not over Chelsea's sacking. He's still quite suffering from this. It's so sad to hear all of those things, because I still love Thomas Tuchel, obviously. And to be honest, to replace such a guy is a very hard task, to win over the fans. Then, okay, you did pretty well in the Champions League, but then your players got injured. Half of your main squad is not there. You did not have Koulibaly. You did not have Fofana for last 4-5 games. Then Reece James, you've spoken about. Kante has been injured since like the second Spurs game. He has been injured. He's not been there with us. Then Chilwell is out of the World Cup. As the reports are stating, Chelsea are very nervous, like what the scans will show. He might miss a large chunk of the season, but okay, you have Kukurea over there to cover in for Chilwell, but he has been, he was also not fit for some
Yeah.
time. So he had lost some weight. He has lost some of his sting, so to say. And then if we talk about Kovacic, he's also had a little bit of knee problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kappa has got injured. So five, six of your main players in such a crucial period of time have got injured. And
Mm.
I would say Graham Potter is still trying to figure out his style, his playing 11, because in last three games we have seen three different style of play. Like in the
Yeah.
last game again, Dinamo Zagreb, it was a strong, strong team. I was pretty surprised to see that how can you field
Yeah.
such a strong lineup in a dead rubber in an inconsequential match. Even if we would have lost that game 5-0, wouldn't
It
have
doesn't
mattered
matter.
because,
Yeah.
yes, it wouldn't have mattered because we had topped our group regardless of any result. So that I can understand. Okay, that approach is Graham Potter might try this system against Arsenal because he is trying to do something because he is
Mm.
short-handed. He wants his team to develop that chemistry. So it was kind of a practice match before the big game against Arsenal. So
Mm.
that system worked brilliantly against Dinamo Zagreb. After obviously we conceded that silly, silly goal. I don't
Yeah.
know why the team switched off, but after we conceded that goal, I think we should have scored another 5 goals.
We should
Sterling,
have.
all
Yeah.
those,
Yeah.
yeah, Sterling scored that goal, but I think he missed two gilded chances. Then
Mm.
Gallagher pulled out a really good save. I won't say he missed it, but the save from keeper was quite incredible. But it was a very close range effort, and another couple of chances we got here and there. So yeah, it was free flowing, but it was Dinamo Zagreb. It was the bottom ranked team in our group, and Arsenal will be a different ball game.
Yeah.
Zakaria again, but see, such decisions makes you to ask that question, like why was Zakaria not put on the field earlier this season?
Yeah.
Like what
Yeah.
was the problem? Like he was pretty decent against Dinamo Zagreb. I think we got that physical man. He was winning those balls, those duels which we were missing so far, and we were getting bullied. In the Man United game, we were getting bullied in the midfield, and
Yeah.
the game
Yeah.
changed only after we got Kovacic on in the first half
Mm.
itself. So I think these are the things which make you question Graham Potter, but I think it's still quite unfair to put a finger on the man because he has done a brilliant job in Brighton. See, the summer transfer window was not his window.
Mm.
Literally, he is still dealing with some of the subpar players. I think I I back the players till death. Like Timo Werner would have been my guy this season if he would have stayed at Chelsea. Kai Havertz, I still have huge expectations of him. But Christian Pulisic, man, what a miss. What a horrible, horrible miss against Brighton that day. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Hakim Ziyech, you have Christian Pulisic. So you have these underpar. I'm pretty sure once Pulisic leaves Chelsea and goes to another club, he'll become
He's
prime
gonna
Eden
bang
Hazard. Yes,
it.
he'll become prime Eden Hazard. The replacement of the Eden Hazard successor that we thought he might be in that lockdown
Mm.
period, if you remember the way he used to perform
Mm.
in Lampard's first season. So we were like, oh, we found our own Hazard, our American Hazard, and Captain America and whatnot, LeBron James of soccer, and all of that bullshit. So I think Graham Potter deserves a transfer window on his own. He deserves to get his
Of
own
course.
players
Yeah.
in, and we have a lot of work at our hands. Like if we look at the midfield, Kovacic, Jorginho. Kovacic is not in the best of shapes physically.
No.
Then Kante, Jorginho, both will move on. I believe Jorginho might not say, although I now want him to sign that contract extension because we are quite lighted in the midfield area
Mm.
because we need someone to play there. I don't know what will happen to Zakaria. I don't see him.
And
He'll
his
get.
skill set is unique. He's a unique kind of a player that we don't have in our squad. So
Yeah. Yes.
maybe worth
Yes.
keeping. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Then we come to our defensive recruitments. Thiago Silva will definitely move on once the World Cup is done. Like this will be his
Mm.
last season. Then he might go to Brazil to play for his boyhood club. We are in talks with Guardiola. Guardiola is also a very injury-prone centre back. If you have seen his injury record, because the
Mm.
kind of intensity that he puts into his game. Then you already have Fofana, who is again a bit of an okay. He only had one injury, but now there are doubts creeping in that Will he be able to sustain that physicality of the Premier League in the long term?
Mm.
So you need two centre backs minimum over there. Might get Levi Colwill back because Levi Colwill was wanted by Graham Potter at Brighton
Mm.
on a loan, but he is not getting his chances at Brighton now under De
Yeah.
Zerbi. So this is a problem, that who will be your centre backs. Then in midfield, I've already said you need two signings. You've spoken about Reece James's backup at the right wing back
Mm.
position, who that might be. Then Nkunku is coming in. He is 99.9%, Nkunku will be a Chelsea player in summer, as of now.
Hopefully, there are people saying that if we miss out on top four, he
Then he
can still pull out. He can still
uh,
say, I don't want to join.
yes, so that becomes a whole different thing to deal with. So 6, 7 players minimum that we need. It's not a luxury. It's the players that we need. So you have to feel for Graham Potter that how he can manage without all these signings in the first place. I see Moises Caicedo coming to Chelsea. I don't know why I have this feeling. He might come to Chelsea. If Bissouma
Look,
weren't a Spurs player in the summer, he would have been a Chelsea player this time.
look, I mean, look at all the recruitments we're doing off field. We're getting all these head of recruitment, head of scouts, director of recruitment. We're getting all these different people outside of football. It makes you think we are preparing for a huge, not just a January, but also a summer window, obviously. Now we have an issue on the left side. Ben Chilwell could be out for a bit of a time. Cucurella can't play every game. He cannot play every game. Form could be a bit up and down. Sometimes he may be required to play as a LCB. You may need a left wing. Even if we play with a back four, you just need to have another left-sided fullback. You can't just do it with Cucurella. Maybe Ian Martson. Ian Martson has been doing very well at Burnley. Maybe he comes back and gives that backup. Levi Colwill, as you said, definitely in the centre back position. We are a bit short, and seems like Baba, some of our centre backs, Koulibaly, he seems to be picking up these little bits and pieces, knocks here and there. Since he started with Chelsea, he's missed quite a few matches already. Silva is one who cannot play every game, and as you said, potentially won't be around. So Levi Colwill possibly needs to come back. Yeah, look, I completely get it, Baba, that Graham Potter, the blame cannot be on him. It's not even on him. He definitely doesn't have the ingredients as yet. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that these are all matches as well, Baba. These are matches that are just coming and going, coming and going, coming. I mean, this is why I've said to you when we started the podcast, I don't know how I feel. I don't know what to expect, and I don't know what I should expect. Should I be expecting a win against Watford? Should I be expecting a win against Brighton? Should I be expecting a win against Man United? Should I be expecting a win against Arsenal with all the injuries? If you say no, then what is the expectation of this season? Where are we meant to?
That's a fair point. That's a fair
You know
point.
what I'm trying to say? Like, if we
Yes,
want to
yes,
be top
definitely.
four, if we want to be top four, then we have to win games. But if you tell me, not you, Baba, like if the fans tell me, but Miz, you can't expect to win all these. We've got all these injuries. But then you can't also expect me to come fourth then, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Definitely.
If you cannot expect to win these games because of all these adversities, then you can't also expect to be in top four. And now the contradiction is, some people are like, Miz, you can't expect to beat Arsenal. You can't expect to beat Newcastle. But then if you ask them, what's your expectation for the season? Top four. I'm like, well, how is it going to... It's contradictory. Like, you want top four, but you can't expect to win against some of these other teams. Like, make it make sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely brilliantly put. I think that is what we need to do as a club right now. That is what Graham Potter needs to solve. He needs to find a balance that somehow, if he's not able to win the big games, and which we don't expect him to do, but you have to win the games against Brentfords, the Brightons, the teams which are in the bottom half of the table. So you can at least consolidate your fourth place, because I think we should be expecting Chelsea to beat Newcastle United regardless of injuries. Like Newcastle is a brilliant team; they are playing brilliantly well. But come on, you have beaten Italian champions twice, and you have topped your Champions League group. You are among the best 16 teams in Europe this season, at least. So
Come
you
on.
have to
Yeah.
beat Newcastle. You have to beat. So that is a fair expectation, I believe. That is something which you have absolutely, you've said nailed on. I think I completely agree with you on this one. That anything less than top four is unacceptable for a club like Chelsea, and especially when you have
Financially as well, Baba.
financially.
Financially as well, it's an issue because how long can we expect Todd Bowley just to throw money, right? He wants to make Chelsea Football Club sustainable. I think, and not just financially, Baba, in order to attract good talent without top four is very difficult.
Yes, definitely. Because what I feel is, as I told earlier in the video, that these two games become very crucial for us because we have dropped 7 points in the last three games. We've drawn
Yeah.
two and lost one against Brighton. So those two games become very massive for us. And if we are to drop the points in these two games, so this will make 5 games without a win for Chelsea, and 5 games without a win will be a huge setback in your top four aspirations.
Big setback.
And that too losing against your direct rivals, because I feel
Yeah.
eventually Arsenal will be in the top four scrap. Okay, they are flying high right now. World Cup break might have come at the right time for them, because what happens is the team which are not very deep on their bench strength tend to fall off in the title charge, because once the fixture congestion comes to you, you are playing thick and fast, the games are going
Mm.
thick and fast, you tend to fall off. So Arsenal, I think the break comes at very well at the most opportune time for them. I think break comes for it's a welcome break for us also, because it
Mm.
will help us to regroup ourselves, and to recollect ourselves, and to just identify what has gone, because I thought we already had a 1 month break in September.
Yeah, because of the Queen passing away. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. So already we had a break. So I thought that that break might have done some wonders for us, and it did in the Champions
It
League
did.
terms. I think
Yeah, yeah.
we won 4 out of 4, so we topped the group quite comfortably. All of those things were okay, but the top four becomes very difficult if you lose these two games. I think you languish down at seventh or eighth place, and if other teams win their games, and when the World Cup starts, you have this pressure on your head, and you don't know what players you are going to lose in the World Cup through injuries.
Yeah.
And it is not looking good for the players who are out of injury, who are out from injury right now, that when they will come back, and if they come back, will they be able to play the whole 90 minutes and all of those things. So I think it's a short term pain for a long term gain, hopefully. Let's see that all these results don't affect us in the long term.
I guess, look, the most easiest way to put everything, Baba, is expectation. Like, and this is the thing about life as well. In life, you set yourself up with expectation. If you expect less from a particular situation, you don't tend to get hurt because you're expecting less. But if you expect a lot and it doesn't happen, you will get hurt. Now, us as fans, we really need to sit down and decide, what are we expecting? Is it actually fair to expect top four for Graham Potter, who hasn't had a window yet, who's had a lot of injuries, and still is trying to embed his football? We have to ask these hard questions. Is it fair to say you must get top four with all these issues, whereas other teams like Arsenal are well advanced with their manager? Their manager is on their 4th season. Newcastle, they've recruited really well. They've been very good with, so far with injuries. I know some of their players are still injured, but the recruitments they've made, and also Eddie Howe, he's doing a very good job, almost there for around a year. Then you've got teams like Antonio Conte. Even though they play bad, they keep picking up the victories. And they've got some really, really good individual players over there. And then obviously you've got Man City and Arsenal, they're moving on. Man United, they're just around the corner. They're building, they're believing under Ten Hag. So, I mean, we have to ask, like, as you said, short-term pain. What is short-term pain? Is short-term pain basically this whole season? Let's just allow Graham Potter to do what he needs to do. We may be outside of top four, and we hope that we can attract one or two players that can still believe in the project under Graham Potter, and then really give it a good charge from next season. But I guess the issue is injuries, Baba, will always be part and parcel. They will always be part and parcel of the game. You will never escape injuries. So we have been in this situation now for a long time, since Sarri season. Sarri was there, we looked like we were building a new philosophy, we looked like we were backing a manager, and boom, the manager leaves. Either the manager got sacked or he left, whatever the case, he went. Right? Then comes Frank Lampard, it's the transfer ban. We can't get any players. We had to build with the newbies, the new academy players. We did well. There were some issues here and there, fine. Then the season after, Frank Lampard bought all these players. They weren't doing all good. Then there was him getting sacked. We weren't playing good. Thomas Tuchel comes in. Once again, we somehow just scrape into top four because Spurs won on the last day and helped us out, or else we would have been knocked out because we didn't beat Aston Villa on the last day, but we won the Champions League. Then last season, injuries, COVID. I mean, I feel like, Baba, we're always in this. We've always got issues. We always seem to have some sort of, non-stop things that keep happening to us. We need to somehow break out of this. We always seem to have excuse. Every season we're having excuse after excuse after excuse. I feel like, fine, this should be the last season of excuse. After this season, please, no more excuses. We need to move on.
Actually, the point is, like, you have named 4 managers in last 4 seasons, 5 managers in the last 4 seasons. So that is the issue which I feel, because if we get a project manager, we don't back him and we don't allow him the time or the transfer window that he needs, because now what I feel in this regime will change is the manager will have complete authority of what kind of players he wants, because earlier in Marina and Roman's time, it was more of what board wants, what board thinks is a best suited player for Chelsea, and the manager was then left with that player. Okay, you have to play that player. We saw that with Jose Mourinho in the first spell when Shevchenko was bought. He did not need Shevchenko because we already had Drogba and Kalu as a backup, but still Shevchenko was unloaded on him. So you have to, and we have done this with a lot of managers in the past. So I think if we have to judge Graham Potter, and if we have to expectations will always be there. See, sports without expectations is nothing, because you're already living life like without any expectations. So might as well stop watching sports also, because sports is something which makes you feel alive and makes you feel passionate about certain things. So you'll always have expectations as a football fan. So it's good that you, and see, again, the thing that we talk about, standards. Chelsea has to maintain some standards. They cannot finish outside top 4. It is bare minimum in my opinion. So you have to finish top 4. You have to find a way, as you've rightly said. Injuries will be a part and parcel of the trade. And the thing is, no manager has had a sustainable or a substantial period of time to work with these players. I think some of these players have been in the squad since last 2 to 3 seasons, but no manager has got ample time to work with them. So no manager has got a time to imprint their style of play, their philosophy properly on these youngsters, on these players. Then Graham Potter needs a transfer window on his own, that he needs to clear out some deadwood, get the players that he wants, maybe get half of the Brighton squad if he wants. I don't know what will he need to take Chelsea to that next level. And then I think we'll see the real Chelsea. Right now, he's still mopping up or cleaning up what was left over from the previous regime and the under par players and the subpar players that he has to contend with. Because when you have players like Hakim Ziyech who don't want to be at the club anymore, like players like Pulisic and Ziyech, I don't think they want to be at club right now. They are looking to move out. So if you have players who don't want to play for your batch, then how can you like, again, I'm using this word, expect them to do well on the pitch? So that is my worry. So again, that brings me to this point that the recruitment and the squad planning has been absolutely horrendous. We did not plan for Reece James's injury yet again, and hence
Yeah.
now we see, okay, Kukurea we have as Chilwell's backup, but now we are again struggling to play someone at the right hand side of the field. So you might see a four at the back against Arsenal. Makes us very exciting going forward, but leaves us equally vulnerable
Yeah.
behind the lines. So maybe Zakaria is the answer to our problems, that physical presence which can shield the back line or can create that destroyer type of a role for the opposition, or that profile that we need, that bully in the midfield. Zakaria can be that guy. Only time will tell. But coming to the final part of this podcast, what do you actually expect from the Arsenal game? Are you, like, you already told me that you're nervous, but I am also like, I think if we are able to get a draw in that game, I think we would have done well by the end of 90 minutes. A win will be an absolutely banger of a result.
I've been maintaining this notion since we've been looking forward to this fixture, that I'm nervous, I'm scared somewhat as well, but Baba, it has to be a W, man. It has to be a win. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm not a coach. I'm not a manager. I'm not some sort of a tactician. But Graham Potter, you have to find a solution. I'm sorry. You have to find a solution to beat this Arsenal team, because Brentford draw, Man United draw, Brighton a thumping loss. I'm sorry. This has to be a win. I mean, to even say this, I'm okay with a draw for this, that is very un-Chelsea like for me. Like that's not being Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? We have to, at Stamford Bridge. Yes, it's Gabriel Martinelli. Yes, it's Bukayo Saka. Yes, it's Gabriel Jesus. Yes, it's Odegaard. But we have to find some sort of a solution. Man United found a solution at home against Arsenal. Man United's team wasn't better than Arsenal. Arsenal were the better team, but Man United found a solution. We have to find a solution. I don't care. 3 at the back, 4 at the back, Zakaria with 4, with 3, whatever. Find a way how you can hurt Arsenal. Get the team galvanized, get them to believe in your philosophy, in your ideology, in your theory, get them to vision that the victory, get them to see that this is how you're going to win. And then execute. On Sunday, execute. Discipline, belief, home crowd, millions across the world. We have to win this one, Baba. This is, as you said, there are certain standards for Chelsea Football Club, and one of the standard is top 4 is it's a bare minimum, right? And if that's the case, we need to beat Arsenal, or else Brighton is only 3 points behind us. Man United have gone ahead of us. Newcastle are ahead of us. This competition, the Premier League, is ruthless. We have to engineer something. Don't tell me how. The way I'm picturing in my head is, I think we will go 3 in the back. I think it'll probably be Koulibaly, Silva, Chalobah, and Azpilicueta as the right wing back, because we want to maybe double up on Martinelli. Because right now, if we go 4 at the back with Azpilicueta as the right back, I think Martinelli will absolutely destroy Azpilicueta. He will, in fact, look for Azpilicueta. He'll be like, where is Mr. Azpilicueta? I want to look for him. So I think 3 at the back, Azpilicueta as the right wing back, Kukurea as the left wing back, and maybe even three midfielders, Baba. I think it may just be Zakaria, Jorginho, Mason
Kovacic.
Mount, or Kovacic. Three in midfield, and then two up front, Sterling and Aubameyang maybe.
Yeah, I think Mount will start. Mount will start regardless, I
I think
think.
Mount will start. It'll probably be Jorginho, Zakaria, Mount, something like that, or maybe Kovacic,
Yes.
Zakaria, Mount, something like that.
Yes.
And then it will literally be we will have to play in the counter because we need to respect the fact that Arsenal will probably have a lot more possession. They are playing the better brand of football. They will probably have a lot of possession, much like they did against Man United, much like they did against other teams as well. And then we have to hit them on the counter. My issue is we're not even good in our counters. We're not even good when we are countering. So we have to find a
Yes.
solution.
Let's see what happens, because I think it's difficult to play against Arsenal. The kind of intensity with which they come out, and we tend to start games a bit slow. Same thing happened with us against Brighton. Same thing happened against Zagreb.
If
Okay,
we start
Zagreb is
slow
a
against Arsenal, if we
we
start slow
will,
against Arsenal,
yes, we'll be gone. We'll be gone. In the last 4 games, we have started slow. Five
yeah,
games, if you count Aston Villa also. In the last five
Aston
games, we
Villa
have
as
started.
well. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, we started slow. We come into the game too late, and by the time if opposition is a goal up, then we are in for trouble. And I don't know how long Thiago Silva can carry this team on his shoulders.
No,
I
yeah.
just hope for the rest 2 games he remains fit and gets to play the World Cup, his dream, follow his dream, because a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
players unfortunately are getting injured just before the World Cup, which is
Timo Werner got injured.
Timo Werner got injured.
Yeah, he's out. He's out from the World Cup.
Damn.
That's
Jota
sad.
got
It's so
injured.
sad.
Chilwell is out. Reece James might be out. Kante is out, and a
Yeah.
lot of players. Pogba for
Pogba
France.
is out. Yeah.
Varane.
Varane, yeah.
Lo Celso for Argentina. He also got injured. So
It's
he's a
sad,
big
man.
miss.
Yeah,
It's
it's
it's very
sad.
sad. The timing of it is a bit weird. I don't know what. Well, okay, but that's a different topic to discuss. I will not get into all of that. Okay, guys, do let us know in the comment section what are your thoughts about Graham Potter's Chelsea so far. What do you think are the problems that Chelsea are facing? What can be the rectification methods for those problems? And the big one, the game on Sunday, Arsenal. Please give us your kind predictions. Let's hope for a Chelsea win. And let's hope Aubameyang gets a dramatic winner and does that flip in front of Arteta.
Oh, please. 1-0. 1-0 Chelsea win. Aubameyang flip.
1-0 Aubameyang, one flip हो जाए, मतलब it will be a brilliant thing to watch. And do please check out the other side of the coin. The link will be in the video title. An
Thank you.
absolute lovely treat if you're a Chelsea fan to watch Mrs. channel. I really enjoy the content, and I hope you have enjoyed this conversation, because I really don't know how the 37 minutes the clock is showing right now, the time
Yeah.
went. And it is always the case when we are having these conversations about Chelsea and football in general. So please do check out Other Side of the Coin. Link will be there in the video title. We'll see you tomorrow during the Arsenal game. There will be a preview on Mrs. channel, will be a dedicated preview on my channel. So we'll be talking about Arsenal game also in depth, and hopefully on Sunday we'll get the win. Okay, guys, take care. Bye bye. Up the Chelsea. Keep the blue flag flying high.